All right, today we are joined by the fabulous Aunjunae Ellis of the Clark Sisters of everything and Hippolyta herself of Lovecraft. Thank you so much for being here. Go ahead on and say your name. What was this? What did she say? I can't remember what it was. Claim your name or something like that with the I'm not going to ruin it. That was episode 7. I'm not going to ruin it. But thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having this, giving me this time to talk to you. I appreciate it.
Character, when she's given the option to say her name, to claim her name, she comes back to I am Hippolyta.
Mm-hmm.
With that part, with what your character has done, you and I had a conversation before about how it has opened up places inside of us Black women, voices that we dare not speak. And, just thanking you for your courage to be able to, your courage and your talent and all of that to be able to rise to the moment and you felt seen through that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to vote like a Black woman, what exactly does that mean to you? Like when you think about that phrase?
A lot, a lot comes to mind. You know, I Fannie Lou is a huge hero of mine, but also Victoria Gray Adams, Annie Devine, Ella Baker. Ella Baker's not from Mississippi, but Ella Baker spent, I would say, I'm sure she would say, some of her most important years, formative years for her as a leader was spent in Mississippi, and her relationship with Fannie was pivotal, I think, for her. And what we know of her, what we know of her politics, what we know about her philosophy. So they are, in terms of, I would say they are not my origin story. My origin story, in terms of political, um, in terms of a political journey, my origin story starts with my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandfather gave shelter to freedom riders in 1964. His church was bombed. He was arrested for bombing his own church. He was able to come home. A lot of people did not go home when they were arrested by the police. Some people never saw their family members again when that happened, but my granddaddy was able to come home and resume his life with my family. My family has always been politically active, has always, and voting was essential to that. Essential to that. My mother and my mother was, would sponsor candidates and, sort of be the spear carrier for them in Pike County. And it was just what we did. It wasn't anything we talked about,
Right.
it was just what we did. And I think that my grandfather planted that seed, and my aunts and my uncles and my mother kept that going. My mother was kicked out of Alcorn uh, for protesting, and she went to Georgia to work for SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. So, that was all in my home. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, as I said, we talk about politics and stuff on Christmas and Thanksgiving, like all Black folks do. We don't not talk about that. That is what we talk about. We can't wait
Right.
to get to each other and have those kinds of conversations. We don't do what the white folks do. Like we don't talk about money and politics. No, that's what we do. We cannot wait, you know? So I'm sure you can attest to that. So it was just a part of me in the way that I ate, you know, catfish on Saturday afternoons. Like that's how I was raised. I don't know not to do that, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. sense. I don't know not to do that. Um, and then, in terms of like how that translates into my now, um, I think that how should I say this? I don't think I do believe that there is something that permeates through Black women that is specific to being an African American woman that is unlike the reality of anybody else in the entire world.
Mhm.
Like nobody. And I think it is because we are the descendants of chattel slavery. Um and I think it is because there was never a division of labor for us. We were always in the field right along with our husbands and lovers and fathers. We were right there with them. There was no option, oh, you stay at home, I'm gonna go get in the field. No, that was always the case. We were always working beside them. So we never understood that we could stay at the house in
Mhm.
any way,
Mhm.
economically, politically, culturally. We always had to be present. We always had to be protectors. We
Right,
always had to do that. So, as I said, I don't know how not to do that. I think that Black women don't know how not to do that.
right, right.
You know, I don't think it's a choice for us, and I think that's why it comes so natural to us. That's why we never like, oh, I don't know how I should vote here. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who. It's never. That's just never the case. It has never been like that. And I'm not trying to make Black women a monolith, but I do think what does unite us. And I don't think this is a reduction that makes us like not individuals. I actually celebrate this, that it seems that we have decided without you and me saying a word to each other, that we are the vanguard. We are
Mhm.
standing in in the balance. We are standing in the middle of the Earth's destruction and Earth's future. Without you and me, Telemachus, saying a word to each other, we feel that. We
Right,
feel that. And we vote selflessly. We vote selflessly. We campaign, so we act in ways that's not rooted in, okay, how does this best serve me and mine?
right.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't think we don't know how to do anything other than that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that hits on a lot of it. But the other part, like, with best serving me in mind, I think like I wore this today, like on Malcolm X jersey, like what he said about Black women being the most disrespected women in America. But at the same time, what serves me in mind, because we're so low on the totem pole, it automatically lifts other communities. Because when you lift the bottom up, everybody gets lifted up.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and because of that, we are, I had someone else talk about how Black women have always been those in the communities, those in the churches with the potlucks and everything came down with Breonna Taylor. I just got off Facebook. I just didn't say, all my social media stuff. And I would like get text, or I remember one friend just sent me like a $20 that was like for something that makes you happy today. Just something like that, like a stepping back and acknowledging the privilege. And I will never know how you feel, but if you
Mhm.
want to talk, if you don't want to talk or whatever, I see you. So I'm grateful for those. And not just white women, but like other brown women too, just kind of stepping in and listening is the main thing,
Mhm.
just listening. And I do think there needs to be a platform, which I spoke to someone else about. It's called White Nonsense Roundup, where white people are educating white people on racism and all that stuff. And it's not more labor put onto Black women as being friends of having friends of different women. They're like, well, explain racism or explain microaggressions or explain all of that. Like, you're too busy trying to survive it in order to teach it as well.
I'm gonna say this. You know, Nicole Hannah Jones. I was listening to her the other day, and she said something that was just so profound. She was like, "Why do you look to us to fix it? You didn't look to us to build it."
Mm, that's another word right there. That is, whoa, that's a big word. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for your time and for jumping on and for the light that you are to all of us.
Thank
And
you.
how can we support you, sister?
Uh, just keep doing this, keep doing this work. Keep doing what you're doing. I think, I don't know if I'm gonna stand outside of the voting precincts, and every time I see every time I see a white woman going in the every time I see a white woman go in the room, I'll be like, "Girl, don't do it! Don't do it!" Like, is that what we need to do now? Like, don't do that. Why
You
you
got
want
an idea for me? Maybe we need shirts. We could just wear shirts and just say "Vote like a black woman."
to vote
And
like a
then
black woman?
yeah, little stuff underneath it, like what that means.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Telemac. This is what I'll challenge you. This is what I'll challenge a challenge to both of us. I think maybe what we need to do in terms like this, what you were talking about to that and white folks nonsense roundup, how I'm misstating it. But I think in the next couple weeks, we need to challenge some smart white women and smart white women whose hearts and minds are in the right place, and say to them, talk directly to those white women who for some reason are still on the fence about voting for him,
Mm-hmm.
and have them reach out to them.
Yeah,
Seriously, have them reach out to them, and make the case to them why you should not do that. Because there's these sort of general kind of platforms, and I think we are past that point now. We
mm-hmm.
need to talk. Somebody needs to talk to them like, "Look, sister girl, listen, don't do that. You are voting against yourself when you do that. I know it's hard for you to not be selfish, but you have to understand that the more this man can stack the Supreme Court, the more your health is going to be um, endangered."
Right.
It's not just going to be because you can't. It's not about abortion. It's not just about abortion. It's other things. It's the general health care of women. So that's what we need. That's what we need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my preacher friends, and I'm going to say to them, listen, you need to reach out to these white Christians, and you need to talk to them like you and I are talking, and be like, sister friend or brother man, you call yourself this and that. How does this man who you are standing up for? Because there's been a
Mm-hmm.
silence about that from the church in a way that has to stop. So that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna be involved in, and want to be involved in the next couple weeks. This is talking in platforms. That's all good, but now we are at that point. If we don't do something else, this man could be, back in there in a
Right.
couple weeks. So
Right.
yeah,
Very true. Well, I'm gonna again thank you for your time and coming on and for all that you are and all that you do for us.
thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, take care.